Hello everyone and welcome back to another very exciting chess game by the third official world chess champion Jose Raul Capablanca, who had the black pieces in this chess game, and this was from a chess Simul, and his opponent was Elihue. And this chess game was played in 1909. So Capablanca's opponent is an unknown chess amateur, and this chess game was played, like I said, in 1909 in the United States. So this chess game has some very beautiful, very interesting tactics and calculations by Capablanca, which is beneficial for the improving chess players, and also it is fun to watch. So let's see what happened. And Capablanca, like I said, had the black pieces. So I think we should check out this chess game from the perspective of Capablanca. So he starts the game with e4, e5, d4, capturing the pawn, and then c3, and this is the Danish Gambit. Queen to e7, bishop to d3, defending the pawn, pawn up, so attacking the pinned pawn. Queen to e7, defending, takes, and simplifying the game, typical Capablanca. Knight to f6, bishop to f3, defending the bishop, and then d takes on c3, Capablanca simply captures the pawn, and he is developing the knight with a tempo. And in this position, if you capture with the pawn, it is going to create an unpleasant pawn structure for black. So this is why we have knight takes on c3, but then pinning the knight and bishop takes knight is possible, damaging the pawn structure. So bishop to d2, unpinning the knight, and both players castled. White castled in the queen side, Capablanca castled in the king side. c6, very precise move, so he wants to develop the bishop without losing the b pawn, so the bishop was aiming on b7. So developing the knight and then developing the knight at the edge of the board. It looks unpleasant, it doesn't look very appetizing, because developing the knight at the edge of the board usually is not a very good idea, but in this case actually this is logical, because Capablanca is not blocking his bishop, he still has a flexible position, and also he has some pleasant choices such as knight to c5 and then jumping on d3, and this is exactly what happened. Knight to c5, bishop to e3, and bishop to f5, developing the bishop, and there are some problems in the light squares. So we have g4, and Capablanca checks the king, and white is actually losing in this position. Black has the advantage. We have king to d2. Well, in this position, what happens if king to b1? Well, this is going to line the king with the bishop. Then we have knight back, check, and after capturing the bishop, we can capture the bishop, and you can see that black is better. And in the end game, actually, this is going to give black some very weak targets, such as the f pawn, h pawn, and also the other f pawn, damaging, doubling the pawn structure. So this is a very nice position for Capablanca, and also this f pawn is extremely weak. And if king to c2, then we have knight to e1, check, discovered check, double check, and then capturing the bishop, and we have something similar, and black is doing better in this position again because of these pawn islands, and black is better, especially in the endgame, in a potential endgame. So in this position, Capablanca checks the king, and this is why we have king to d2, and then simply bishop goes back, and rook to d8 is going to be a very dangerous move. And where is the king going? Knight is occupying e1 and c1, and also the bishop is aiming from this long diagonal and targeting on c2. So it is going to be very difficult when the bishop is targeting on c2. So where is the king going actually? If rook to d8, and then threatening some discovery attacks to the king. So we have knight to f4, attacking the bishop, and Capablanca played knight takes on b2. So again, in this position, because of rook to d8 is going to be a very big threat, there is no time for defending this pawn. So after knight to f4, knight takes on b2, knight takes bishop, and Capablanca didn't miss anything. He first captured the rook, so the knight was attacking the rook, but in between move, he is capturing the rook. And if bishop takes knight, then we simply capture the knight, and basically black has the exchange and winning. So knight takes, what else? And in between move, knight takes on c3. And the knight is also under attack. So we have king to c2 escaping from this diagonal. The dark square bishop was aiming the king, but simply king takes knight. King to b3, forking two pieces. And if bishop goes back, then capturing the knight. But Capablanca simply moves forward and defending everything. Bishop to d2 and threatening to capture the knight and getting the piece back. Bishop takes knight is, I believe, it is going to work. Because if bishop takes knight, knight takes, bishop takes, and if pawn takes, bishop takes knight, and getting back the material, which is still fine for black, but Capablanca didn't miss anything. He played knight takes on a2. So we have bishop takes on d5. Well, obviously, if king takes knight, then bishop takes bishop. Okay, so black is winning. So in this position, if bishop takes, then simply knight takes. And again, black is winning. So Capablanca didn't miss anything in this chess simul when he was playing against many other chess players at the same time. So bishop takes, and then bishop takes, and attacking the bishop, we have rook to d1, not bishop to f3 because of knight to c3, and again, actually black is winning in this position, saving the knight. The knight is not trapped, so bishop takes on d2, rook over, but in this position, black has a very simple move, and Capablanca also didn't miss that. What would you do in this position if you had the black pieces? Okay, knight to c3, of course, forking two pieces, and after all that, the dust has settled, and we can say that black is going to be a piece up after all this. So, very beautiful chess game by Jose Raul Capablanca, and he made a very good and a very precise calculation in this chess game. So, the possible continuation, rook takes bishop, of course, forking the rook and the bishop, and then knight takes bishop, and thank you very much for the game. Black is a piece up, and also plus black has 3 extra pawns, and okay, so easily winning for black. And what do you think? I hope you have enjoyed watching this chess game, and I hope to see you next time with more amazing chess games. Stay safe, take care, and bye bye.